Hello, guys. How we doing tonight? Oh, hopefully all is well. Hopefully you all made money. You guys know how it is. Old ball is back. Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir, it is. Finally starting. So we're gonna have, well, I mean, I wish I could say we're gonna have a quick PA review, but it's probably not going to be. We had a pretty full day, and I did talk about some statistics in the chat today that I do want to showcase. So let me just bring that up as well. Let me just find it. Awesome. All right. Well, let's start on a daily chart, right? Starting on the daily chart, what did we had? We had a continuation of the previous day. Now it's very simple. Whenever we have a counter trend move, and when I'm talking about trend and I'm an intraday trader, I'm talking about the last 2 or 3 weeks, right? I can look right here until mid-August. This is actually pretty much 2 or 3 weeks. If I look at the trend, overall trend in these times, well, it's bearish. We formed a range, we traded within it, and we went to break that range. What made you trade today, a day before NFP? If you look at the announcement for the week, right? In every announcement, I mention which days I am going to be trading. Since there was a bank holiday on Monday, let me actually bring that for anyone that is on YouTube and can't just open the announcement very quickly. Since there was a bank holiday on Monday, I adjusted my NFP framework to understand that, hey, there's no gap day. So Tuesday is a high probability trading day. Wednesday is as well. And Thursday, even though it's the day before NFP, I'm interested in trading the AM session. Overall, it is really that simple. It is because of the Monday bank holiday. I adjusted my framework and deviated slightly from the original framework that we have for NFP. Pretty straightforward. What I was saying, exactly, we were bearish for the last 2-3 weeks. So the current trend is bearish. And whenever we're going counter trend, you have to think, hey, is this a reversal or is it simply a retracement? Well, I don't know until we reach our retracement level, right? Because if it's a reversal, it's going to keep going. And if it's a retracement, it's going to stop there. So I'm going to use my most recent range of that trend, right? Bearish, so most recent bearish range. And my premium inefficiency is a very simple order block in premium, not plus order block, minus order block. So bearish order block, I use plus or minus, just makes my life simpler for that case. So that was my target. But we all know with order blocks, I have two levels I'm looking for. And I'm only using the body of the candle in this case because there are no adjacent fair value gaps. So that's when I only use the bodies. If there is a following fair value gap, like for example, if I was to look at this bullish order block in this case, I would use the entire candle, and my first level would actually be the high in this case and not the opening price. Just to give you guys some insight I haven't talked to in a while. So I have these two levels. So first I need to look at how we interact with the order block levels. So in this case, the opening price, and then the midpoint. And as you can see today, we had a very aggressive close through both. This is beautiful. This is very bullish. So of course, going into tomorrow, I have a clear target at the external of this range. If we respect the first premium, I'm going to expect a continuation of the trend to go lower. And if we don't, then I'm going to expect a reversal, which means targeting external liquidity. And once again, this whole move being framed around the fact that we took out this liquidity, we formed SMT, and just from Tuesday's candle, which also includes Monday's price action since it was a bank holiday, that's what happens when you look at it on a daily chart, we had a very nice rejection, continuation candle, confirmation, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful price action. I am going to leave these two levels on our chart. Let's actually make this one a horizontal ray so we can actually see it. So let's call this plus order block. Oh, plus order block from the daily chart. This is how I annotate my higher time frame charts. Can then go down to the 15-minute. Of course, you guys know, always use the daily structure to frame my trades. And of course, we also had 10 a.m. news today. Before 10 a.m., what do we see? And let's actually go in replay mode here and make our life even simpler, even before 9:30. What do I see here? All we've done today is consolidate, and I can't really frame this as a potential low of day because there is no SMT. I don't see your mouse cursor. That is weird. What? Oh, okay. Let me restart it. Possibly. I just saw on the stream, and yeah, you're right. You indeed cannot see my mouse cursor, which is weird. We can see it on the recording. How about now? No, you still can't. Oh, you can see it, right? Can you see it in this case? Like, for example, my cursor is at Asia Low. Screen twitching. Special. We're having some issues with fucking Discord stage again. You can see it, awesome. And what if I have this cursor? Can you see this cursor? Actually see it? No, you can't. That is so weird. Okay, well, we'll use a cross for the remainder of the of this recording, and I'll figure out why that's going on, I guess. Hopefully that makes it so you guys can follow along. Awesome. All right, well, what I was saying is we can't trust this as a potential low of day because there's no SMT. So even though we did have a slight manipulation that could form a potential low of day, there's no SMT. So I can't trust it. So what am I going to do in this case? Well, this is all consolidation. So I need to wait for a manipulation to occur before I can take this trade. Now, let me just, oh, okay, no, that's going to be for the PM session. So overall, what I see is I see London low as a target, Asia low is a target. Why? Because we have a London framework, Asia low being the current low of day, which we do need to break to form a new one. That is a potential. Or we could just take out London low with SMT, which if we take off the replay mode, we'll notice that is pretty much what happened. We took out these levels, and let me actually go back and replay right here so we can see only the levels from the current day. We took out London low and Asia low on NASDAQ, and on ES, our most bullish asset for the day, we only took out London low, forming SMT at the current low of day on ES and forming a new low on NASDAQ. This is just a perfect framework to look for a long, even if we did trade to the bullish order block before, right at 9:30. So very straightforward. We'll go down to the 1 minute chart. We are bearish until London low and Asia low are taken. And as soon as London low got taken on ES, this is actually just a little bit after Asia low was taken on NASDAQ. We have SMT, right? Right at this point, actually, even before London low is taken by ES, we do have SMT. And so in that case, you could have traded anytime there. Now, could you have traded before the news? Yeah, there is SMT on the highs, higher time frame SMT, of course. If we look as well right at 9:30 here and just after, we took out all of the levels, current high of day and all of that, but we did have some higher time frame SMT. Now, is this what I'm going to be looking for to take a short? No, this is not what I consider prime opportunity to go short. Although, once we later have SMT at these highs, right here actually, I was looking for it. We have SMT at these highs, and we have a breaker block entry. So let me actually change this indicator so we see all the breakers formed after 9:30. We'll notice that this right here is actually a valid short. Now, the reason why I didn't take this short and would not recommend it, to anyone, I did want to take it this morning, and I was mad I missed it. But looking back at it, truth is, you would have had to held on through news, and that would have just been a break-even trade for me. Because if I'm taking a trade before the news and I can't take profit, because there's no way I'm taking money out before 1.7R, right? You guys know my rules. In this case, I would have just went break-even before the news, and it got stopped out at the news. If you did manage to hold on through past this, right, which is not something I would consider on any live funds, but we are trading prop firms, most of us, and those are simulated markets. So slippage is less, has a lower occurrence of happening, let's just say it like that. And as we can see, afterwards, it would have worked. I'm going to remove this trade, but I did want to mention why in my book, this morning you guys might have seen in the futures chat, I was salty I missed that one. But the truth is, this was not what I would consider to be necessarily a good trade, but it was a setup, so I did want to mention it. Now, what we're going to be interested in is after Asia low gets taken, we now, all of a sudden, have a potential framework. So I'll move the news time right here. From this point on, where we see this line is where I start looking for longs. I have my framework. I can look to target even opening range high after 10:30, right? Which is pretty much when the move started happening. But overall, I can target the market highs, the current high of session, which is also the current high of day in this case. A very clear framework to go long, along with the 10 a.m. power of 3. So we did consolidate a little bit at the open right here, but then we traded lower and flipped it. This is a beautiful pattern to look for a bullish candle to form. As we can see, we did have an entry. Now, this is not a valid entry, and the indicator will show you the last unicorn that was formed. But when you're live in front of your charts, and I will showcase this to you guys, when you're live in front of your charts, it shows you the first unicorn that is available. So in this case, we first traded down into here and then traded back above, which created the breaker block. So you can't enter on this IFVG before it is a breaker block, right? So that is not an entry. But if we skip over to the next candle, we'll notice, hey, this is a unicorn. And if we skip to the next one, this fair value gap is still overlapping. As you can see, when the candle finished, the indicator noticed that we are now within this unicorn. And it showcases the unicorn as a valid entry as well. But this is also a valid entry. I can go in seconds here? Wait. Trading view. What are you doing to me? This is awesome. Wait, so if I skip seconds. Oh, that is amazing. As you can see right here, this is the entry it showcases. And once you're trading within it, live on your chart, right, this is my entry. So I enter here. You have the fair value gap. You have a fair value gap below. You also have the inverse fair value gap here. But as you can see, if I use the inverse fair value gap, I'm pretty much at the fair value gap low as well. Thing is, if you didn't use volume imbalances, then this inverse fair value gap would have already gotten invalidated. So just for the sake of being pessimistic, we will be considering it as if it was invalidated, right? I use volume imbalances, so this for me is still a valid IFVG that I can use as an entry or as a PD array for my stop, but you do have this order block just lower, so we'll be pessimistic and choose the worst entry. And then your target is going to be what? Well, current high of day. It's a pretty straightforward objective to have. Am I going to be looking to take a partial before then? I wish I could, but truth is I can't take a partial before 1.7. So in that case, there's no way I could. Now, another thing I saw someone do today is perhaps this was your partial objective, which is the last clear high before high of day. It is also first premium. First premium is somewhere here that we barely traded to, and then you have all this low resistance. This is a clear liquidity point, which you could definitely look to target. But the truth is it doesn't offer enough. Now, if you use the same stop and enter on the fair value gap below, you do offer enough risk to reward. But once again, I'm being pessimistic and mechanical, and this is the clear trade that you had. You didn't have to think. The indicator does that for you. If you don't have it, well, you just had to spot the breaker and the unicorn. Enter on the trade. You have a valid framework. 10 a.m. went lower, gave you a manipulation, confirmed with SMT. Once again, with the SMT at Asia low, formed a bullish setup. No need to think. You just click on the buttons and you wait. Now, today, it was a little bit of a rough one in terms of we were just talking about waiting, and it took a while. Had a lot of consolidation, but we did reach opening range high pretty quickly, I guess I would say. 56 minutes to my target is pretty standard. It is not bad at all. And again, after 10:30, now the opening range is established. These levels appeared on my chart, and they were pretty clear. You did form SMT early on, so just a little after your entry, you actually were trading SMT. What can I do if I can't take profit? Because as I just explained, I'm not taking profits until at least 1.7 R, and even them, I'm always looking for more than that, but 1.7 R is the minimum. Well, I can't take profit, so what do I have to do? I go break even. It is that simple. And as you guys can see, going break even here, this would have been painful, but I mean, you're break even in that time. You leave your charts, you let it run. You set up alerts. What I like to do is just set up alerts like 10, 15 points before a target is reached. And then once it's hit, I like to come back to my charts. I do that quite often. I go make some food or something, and then I have the notifications on my cell phone. If you're unfamiliar with how to put alerts, you can just right click anywhere on your chart and you can, well, now I'm in replay mode, so now I can't, You can right click anywhere on your chart and you can set an alert directly. It's going to say create an alert. I'll show you guys at the end of this for sure. You can't set alerts in replay mode, unfortunately. As we can see though, overall, very good trade. I personally held my runner and closed it. When was this? I talked about it in chat. I was very, very excited for the PM to happen. Where is it? Where is it? I've got a higher target. I spoke the entire PM session. I spoke about my specific target, which was 23652.25. By the way, if you guys were wondering, you were in the futures chat today. This was the daily order block mean threshold. Oh, okay. Where am I? I'm actually looking for the exact time I got out. I think it was like 10 minutes before. Oh, 5 minutes before the close. So 3:55 right here is where I got out. As you can see, well, 3:54, but I texted it at 3:55. Did miss on a little finishing run, but all of that was pretty much after 4. So I really did not miss anything at all at this point. Why would you hold a runner? Well, why not? That's the truth. If we break above opening range high with this daily profile where we just formed the manipulation here, I expect it to run a lot further, and I have clear higher time frame objectives. So I want to give myself for the potential upside. I give myself the opportunity for the potential upside. So I will just trail my stop along the way. Once we saw the lunch framework form, right, where now there's suddenly a probability we go lower, now all of a sudden my stop is trailed to this level because I don't want to see that part happen. And so I just held down throughout the day. We had a classic trending New York session. So definitely very interesting there. And if you're going to ask me about any other trades, the truth is this is the only trade that I see for today. And perhaps, as I explained, this short was valid. Taking this long here, still valid. I think we had SMT in this area, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, at that point in time, we had SMT here, possibly taking a long here, sure, but it's still before news. If I'm going to be taking a trade before news, what do I need? I need a clear Judah swing with SMT. You have a clear Judah swing with SMT that justifies taking a long? No, because even though this formed with SMT, you're still inducing these lows. Like you see this and you're telling me that you don't think we're going to go back there. We're going to leave clean lows. Now you guys can show me like 20 different areas where we formed clean lows and then just ran higher. Sure, it happens. But I'm talking about statistical probabilities because that is how I trade. And the statistical probabilities tell you we don't do that. That is very complex. I'm excited to be bringing the statistics about SMT and when they occur and when they are highest probability. Definitely going to be some cool stuff to share with you guys. But for now, for the next, I guess, 2 weeks or 3 maybe, you have to just trust me on my word. Oh, very nice long. If you guys have any other trades that you had in mind, I'm happy to share it. I did say I was going to speak about the lunch raid. After lunch high is taken, we understand our target is lunch low. Is this a valid short setup? Sure. But then you need a setup to happen. And as we can see, oh, okay, no bearish breaker, no bearish breaker, no bearish breaker. Oh, bearish breaker formed, no entry. Why does this occur? Because you don't have a bearish array to look for a trade, right? Oh, we never formed an array, which is a bearish fair value gap or a bearish inverse fair value gap that you can look to trade. So now you still wait. At this point in time, what do I always say? We've run much further past the high. So the high wasn't your target. You're just trending. So in this case, I would not expect it, especially when our New York AM session is a reversal profile. What does that mean? Well, we open, we reversed what we reversed during the session, and lunch is expansion, then very high probability that the PM will see a continuation. Since AM session was somewhat trendy and lunch was trendy, would you just avoid the lunch framework and just expect a trending day? Oh, well, I didn't see your question, but I kind of just answered it. Sorry about that. Should have read that before. But as I just said, with a morning reversal and a trending lunch, I expect the PM to just keep trending. Very straightforward framework in that case. And as you guys can see, it worked out great. Now, was it the lowest resistance price action I've ever seen? Clearly not. Was it the biggest move I've ever seen? No, but it was pretty sizable. right? Even if we look at our entry all the way to my final objectives, that's 170 points. That's pretty good, right? It would never spit on that. And yes, to my final objective, with the pessimistic approach, that is only 5.23 R. I personally actually added a contract right here on this unicorn. So once we traded back down into here, no, actually this one, sorry. So once we traded back down into here, I actually added another contract and trailed my stop all the way up to lunch low. This was just a way for me recognizing what we did during lunch. And as we just explained, right, because lunch trended and the morning reversed, I'm looking for a continuation in the PM. This just gave me another opportunity to add money because I only had one micro left. Now, was this a risky trade? Yes. Am I risking profit? Yes. And so I have much less value associated to that. It is unrealized P&L, sure, but I still treat it as profit. It's kind of like if I told you guys, hey, I'm up $5,000 for the day. Do I mind if I lose $1,000, but I end the day up $4,000? I don't. But if you guys tell me, hey, I'm break even for the day now, and I lose one, I'm going to risk $1,000. No, I'm not going to do that. But if I already made money, I'm much happier to push that money to actually try and get more. So in this case, I was already up from the morning, only had one contract runner, added another one, and you guys can actually find a picture of that trade in the futures chat as well. And you'll see my 2 contracts, and I'll bring it here for the people on YouTube. Because I mean, I don't post a lot of proof, I guess is the word I could use. So here we go. And as you can see, yes, I did on purpose. I'm hiding my accounts, I'm hiding my results. This is not something I want to be public knowledge. Might not get the choice soon. I'd have some stuff coming up. I got an interesting message from somebody today. So hopefully everything works out. I don't want to speak on it yet, but might be some cool stuff coming. What do you mean that's fake? Oh, my picture I just shared? Okay. SJ, with all the love in the world and all the respect in the world, fuck you. Oh, do we have any questions on that note? I guess. Any questions about any other trades as well? If you guys took different trades, I'd be happy to run them through with you guys. But with my model, it's truly either you took that trade or you missed out. Or maybe you took the morning short and you decided to be done for the day. That is very respectable in that sense as well. Oh, not seeing any of you guys type, so I'm guessing it was all clear. I'm starting to appreciate the lack of questions a little more. I'm happy to answer any questions anytime, don't get me wrong, but it does feel good actually when you guys have less questions because it shows that I'm explaining some stuff cool. What typically happens when NQ takes Asia low and ES does not? This for me is just SMT. So SMT by itself is not something I use. If you prefer having a more representative name, it is divergence. So the fact that NASDAQ took it and ES did not is a huge confirmation of a potential reversal. But as you might have noticed, I didn't use the word use signal or whatever. I used confirmation. So if I have a framework and then SMT comes, SMT is always a confirmation to be more confident about this. So at this point, once we took out an important level, did not on the other asset, which formed the divergence we're speaking of, I was a lot more confident in trusting this as a potential low of day and taking my long right after once my entry came. Hopefully that made sense. So would tomorrow be expected to retrace and then head to previous week high? Is that the bias? That is indeed my bias. Going to be looking for a small retracement probably. You know, to be completely straightforward, what I would love to see is London run higher, right? So overnight is what I'm saying. So London and Asia run higher. Then New York, we see quite a sizable retracement and continuation. And then I could take my long in this area. So of course, it's going to depend on what we see as overnight movement, but that is indeed my bias. Prem, I'd be happy to send a little message at 9:30 tomorrow, say, yeah, still looking for longs or could have the possibility for a short. I've been trying to be a lot more active in the futures chat recently. You guys might know I've said this multiple times before. I don't like live trading. It makes me a kind of trader that I don't want to be. I start looking at everything and seeing all of the potential moves. and I kind of want to show off whenever I'm trading in front of people. And so I take all these moves, and yeah, I make money. I mean, you can see it on YouTube. I think we did 4 live trading sessions, not in the same week, just separated throughout months. And I think in every one of them, there's one time I lost, and that's when the video corrupted. We were trading after FOMC, an hour and 15, and power cut. Basically, we spent like 20 minutes. I took one loss and the power cut, and it did fuck up my recording. Overall, I'm rambling about my live trading, but I don't like live trading really in front of people. It does make me trade bad, but talking to people while I trade doesn't cause me any issues. So if you guys have any questions while you're trading, I'm happy to answer them. Feel free to tag me at any point in the futures chat, in general chat, anywhere, anytime. If I can't answer, I won't. I'll wait. Overall, do we have any closing questions before we call it a night? Pretty tired here, I'm not gonna lie, guys. But excited for tomorrow. I'm really hoping for a very simple NFP day. And if I get a lot of money tomorrow, actually, I'll call my payout just before I leave for vacation. That would make me a happy man. And if not, well, I'll come back from vacation broke and then get my payout and be very happy. Can you talk about the Rise data you shared? Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Awesome. I will showcase it. I just wanted to explain it because I just sent that, and I understand that a lot of people, well, specifically the people who don't have Rise statistics, have no idea what I was sending in chat today. So I will leave these drawings, but I'll bring this. Okay, the image is too large. Are you kidding me? I hate you. Okay, so I'll showcase with this one. So here we have a lot of information, but the main thing we see is, well, basically this is the candle profiles analysis on Rise statistics, right? So it is one of the statistical dashboards we have, and it is all about, please don't tell me it's too large. Awesome. It's all about these guys right here. So these are candle profiles, very simple logic derived from multiple different people throughout multiple different years. All right, I'm not going to talk about potential creators and such, but overall, we are analyzing how the current candle interacts with the previous candles, high and low. So we have a true breakout profile, which is when we close above, or well, we close through one of the levels without touching the other. False breakout, we take out the level, but close within the previous candle. We have reversal, where we take out one side and close through the next. Of course, bullish reversal, bearish reversal. And we have an inside bar, which is we just don't take the high and the low. All right, some pretty straightforward profiles. I was looking for the word, sorry. And then with these profiles, we actually have data about them. So we have data about, for example, in this case, I'm looking at NASDAQ and the 2 p.m. 4-hour candle. Of course, you don't see this because I just shared a quick picture, a screenshot that I took from the app. But if you see the whole app, you'll see it. I'd be glad to share it on another day. But this is NASDAQ 4-hour. We're looking specifically at only on Thursdays and in the bullish scenario. And specifically here, using previous profiles, we say that the previous profile is a reversal. So why am I using this? Well, because I'll actually leave this on the chart, but we'll go to the 4-hour very quickly. Let's actually make this a little bit smaller for now, because on the 4-hour, you can see right here, let's just remove these drawings so they don't showcase on the 4-hour, so we can see a little something, you know? Right here, you can see the 10 a.m. candle was a reversal candle. As you can see, we took out the low of the previous candle and closed through the high. So what do I expect the 2 p.m. candle to do, right? 2 p.m. right here. And I utilized this data basically to gain more confidence on my PM trade. So when I shared my bias that I thought we were going to be going higher, I think I shared that during lunch or maybe just before 1:30. I did share this data as well to support what I'm saying. It is not being pulled out of my ass. As we can see the overall percentage chances of each profile happening. But if we look specifically at the 2 p.m. candle, we'll see that there are 3 possibilities. There is a 16.7% chance that we see an inside bar. There's a 46.7% chance we see a false breakout, and a 36.7% chance we see a true breakout. So overall, what this is telling me is that these 2 combined probabilities, or my probability of reaching the previous candle high, right? Which wasn't far from the open, but still. So seeing the previous candle high. And after that, you split these percentages that have a 10% delta, so a 10% difference, and that tells you the probability that we are actually going to close above this price point or that we are going to close back within. And what this data told me is that I can be confident that we are going to see bullish price, and I was using that to help me frame a continuation and justify adding an extra contract to my position all the way to the daily order block mean threshold, which is our 0.5 level right here. So does that make any sense, SJ? Or anyone, maybe you guys have questions related to that, but that is basically the candle profiles analysis on Rice Statistics. And of course, we don't just have the 4-hour data, we have pretty much every time frame. And if we're missing a time frame, like for example, we don't have the 21-minute time frame, just ask for it and we'll add it. Like literally probably the next day. No one has asked for any additional time frames, but I'd be happy to run it on any kind of time frame and add that to our Rice Statistics data. It's like CRT, definitely, except that mine doesn't tell you, hey, just look for reversals, because the truth is, it is very low probability. The highest probability candle in those 3 bars right here is not the first one. It is not the reversal bar. It is the third bar. This is the one that, for example, today we had 36% plus 46% chance of being bullish, of reaching that high. What does that tell you? Well, very simple. That tells you that this one had almost, I'm not good at quick math right now, 83.4% chance. 83.2 actually, percent chance of going up. But CRT tells you, hey, no, trade the reversal here. I really don't like it. Please do not get me started. I am a big hater of CRT. I've said this multiple times before. I don't like to bash other people's concept. If you're able to make money with it, good job. But I'm very mad that we are attributing bullshit reasons to very specific concepts. And I don't believe in it whatsoever because I've run the data and the statistics around it. If you prefer to tell yourself that it's because it's the previous candles high and low that it's doing that, well, as long as you're making money, you do you. I just have a personal hatred of it. I do apologize for it. It's my weak point. It's CRT. Anything else, I will never say anything bad about it. But that's my weak point. So sorry about that. Any final questions? Happy to keep going about it, right? There's so much to cover. I mean, like, we're at 1.9 billion data points on Rice Statistics. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to see it all. I don't even know all of the possible data that's on there. I mean, I focus on what I know and I'm not studying it anymore, but excited to get back into it, to be honest. On that note, though, we're going to call it a night. It was a great review. Thank you all for coming. And we'll see each other tomorrow night for another price action review. It might be a little early. You guys know the deal on Fridays. I like to do them a little bit earlier. So I will say it in the future chat tomorrow. Good luck trading. See you guys in chat actually tomorrow and perhaps later for our price action review. Bye guys. Have a great night.